So a couple years ago, I walked into an office like not as big as this, and I walked up to the front of the room and I noticed this guy back in the back. He kept staring at me and I was like, okay, this is really creepy. So if you're staring at, no, I'm kidding. So after the meeting, he came up to me afterwards and he said, you know, I have a whole new respect for you now. And I was like, why is that? And he said, because when you were standing off to the side before you came up on the stage and you were going to talk about Century 21, he said, I thought you were just some snooty woman from corporate. This is a true story. Snooty woman from corporate coming to tell us how to do my job when you've never even stepped in our shoes. So I want to tell y'all a little story. And Mike said I had 50 minutes, but you know, he took 10 of those. So we're going to start the clock now. I mean, so back in 2003, well, actually, do y'all remember what happened 20 years ago, 9/11? So I was living in Fayette County, I was living in Coweta County at the time. I'm from Fayette County, but I was living in Coweta County. Lived in a really nice little neighborhood, and corner house, 2-story, beautiful, fence, you know, 3 little kids. Husband was working here at the Atlanta airport for Northwest Airlines. Then 9/11 happened. And about a year later, he lost his job. So we were living in Noonan, and I had never worked. I was a stay-at-home mom, living the dream, right? Right? And we looked at each other and we're like, do we stay in Atlanta? Do we move? We have, you know, I've never worked. What is he going to do? The airlines were just crumbling. I'm going to make a long story short. So this is what we did. We put our house up for sale in Noonan. We were getting this close to having to go into foreclosure because we couldn't get a buyer for it. Finally, we sold it, had to pay our last $1,000 to the listing agent and close on the house. We upped and moved our whole family. We upped and moved to Florida. No money. When I say no money, I had to borrow some money from my dad for the moving truck. So we get to Florida. What were we gonna do? So guess what I did? I got my real estate license. Why did I do that? Anybody want to guess? Say that again? Oh, because it's so easy. I just saw my agent in Atlanta. She's no longer with us, but I saw her make, you know, $10,000, and all she did was stick a sign in the yard, right? That's all we do. So I went and got my real estate license and I borrowed my money from my dad again. And y'all, you just don't understand. He will not share. He will not give me five pennies. So to get that was a big deal. So long story short, I was Rookie of the Year my first year. I was so hungry because we had 1 jar of pickles in the refrigerator. 1 jar of pickles for my kids to eat dinner. And Corey, every time he hears me tell this story, he remembers, guess what happened when he took the pickles out of the refrigerator while we were waiting for family to send us some money for dinner? They broke all over the floor. So why did I tell you that story?
Because you are been there. You've been where we're at.
I've probably been lower than where most of you have been. I mean, we were trying to apply for food stamps. It was that bad. Why did I do so well my first year? Why was I Rookie of the Year in a state where everybody has a real estate license? So what's the point of the story? And I'm telling you, this is a factual story. What every day when you wake up, if someone holds your head underwater, what is it that you want to do? Breathe. You have to want this as badly as you want to breathe. And I know there's so many people in this room that I've known over the years and I've watched, and that's what they do, is they get up every morning with that mindset. All right. Any questions before we get into the good stuff? Okay. All right, where's the
clickers up there?
Okay. This little thing?
Yes. Press the down arrow.
Fancy. Okay. So when I did get my license, I did interview at a couple of no-name brands. I think I was with them like 24 hours and I realized they had nothing to provide me. So, and Remax turned me down because I'd never worked a day in my life, but I'm like, I'm a stay-at-home mom, I'm hungry. They wouldn't even affiliate me with their company. But when I joined C21, there was something about it wasn't even C21 University at the time. So a lot of the things I'm going to talk to you about today, if you use them, I mean, in addition to what Mike provides, if you guys use everything, the tools that C21 provides, you will notice a difference in your business. All right, what is this year?
50.
Which is what?
50th anniversary.
How many of you are utilizing the 50th anniversary hub to spread the word?
Should we raise our hands? Yeah.
Yeah, so see, that's why Mike asked me to come in. But you know, you guys, there's so much stuff on 21 Online, it's actually hard for me to keep up with it, but it is our 50th anniversary. So what's new with the brand lately? You know, there's a lot of competition. Is there a lot of competition here among you guys with other agents, other companies, that sort of thing? Okay, I know in Florida it's the same way. You can't even move to Florida unless you get a real estate license or open up a brokerage. But the reason I want to share these stats with you is, and I'm sorry I'm going to say this about the Chick-fil-A that you brought, but I'm going to use this little analogy. Chick-fil-A is my favorite, right? Okay, but when you think about other real estate companies coming in, you know, Chick-fil-A is a fast food restaurant, right? And you know, obviously being from Atlanta, and they're from Atlanta, but who is still the #1 fast food chain? McDonald's. Yeah, and I'll show that to you guys in a minute. Do you see my point of that? It doesn't matter who else is coming in. We are still on top, and I'll show you guys that in a minute. But so, C21, our renewals increased 33% in Q1 2021 over prior year. Renewals are, so just like Mike, just like any franchisee, we have a contract. So that means that these companies are opting to renew their contracts with C21 for X amount of years. The average sales price increased 15.7% in Q1 this year over prior year. I really wanted to point out the leads. Our leads increased 38% and traffic was up 72% versus prior year on the C21.com website. So why do you think that is?
Everyone's home.
Good, very good answer. Everyone's home. What else? Putting it out there. How are we putting it out there differently than we were a couple years ago? Do you guys remember when C21 went on the Zap, when we connected C21.com to the Zap site? Yes. Well, we are the only brand out of the Realogy brands that took it back off the Zap site, so now we're standalone again, so now our leads have increased. Why is that important to you? Exactly. Commercial leads were up, and I just added this yesterday or Monday. Is Mike Meadler, President and CEO of C21, just sent this out, is that late of last week, your efforts have now proved C21 to outpace the industry and NAR for a 6th straight month. Give yourselves a hand. So Entrepreneur Magazine puts this out every month, and on the left you'll see the top franchise companies. #1, McDonald's, and then we go down and we look at #7. C21 is #7. But what is so special about that? Yeah, everything else is food. We are the #1 real estate franchisor in the, this is globally. Yeah. Okay, so a lot of people ask me, you know, what is C21 doing to advertise? Where are we advertising? We don't see billboards, this and that. I don't think I saw any real estate billboards. Do y'all have real estate billboards here in town? I see a lot of Mark Spain in Florida, but I didn't see any up here. Do y'all have? Oh, they're everywhere. Okay. Well, C21 has a huge marketing department, and consumers don't typically buy from it's a good recognition tool, but we already we have #1 brand recognition. So they're putting their efforts into a lot of media this year, which is, for one, Nat Geo. How many of you watch National Geographic? Okay. Well, why did they choose National Geographic over any of the other ones?
Family channel.
Do you ever hear any controversy with National Geographic? No. So on September 23rd, C21 is sponsoring the Nat Geo documentary.
Home is more than just the four walls and the roof over your head.
Home is a place where I live and work and play and feel.
My kids, my grandmother,
Spending time with one another.
comfort.
Safety and laugh.
Over the past year and a half, for all of us, home has changed.
It's a sacred place.
Going forward, work and home are never going to be as separate.
Living in multi-generational households has reached levels not seen.
I don't think we need to
since
watch
the
the whole
Great
thing, do you?
Depression.
Yeah, go ahead and
We
cut
do
it
not
off.
have enough homes on the market for the buyers that are out there.
We're 3.8 million homes
Yeah, go
short.
In one day, we had 100.
All right, I just wanted to show you guys the trailer for this, but C21 is sponsoring this. It's the home rediscovered by National Geographic. Going up one, I will send this out to you, Mike or Dwayne, so you guys can share the PowerPoint. But if you missed our 50th anniversary celebration, I embedded the link here so that you guys can watch it later, because it was pretty incredible. Okay, so good news about your listings. How many of you have heard of List Globally? So a handful of you. Okay, so what is List Globally?
So when you haven't heard about some of this stuff, you haven't done anything wrong. I've done something wrong. Okay, so a lot of times you're going to get that response, and that's my fault.
And that's okay. That's okay. That's why I'm here. So List Globally, back in May, C21 partnered with List Globally. How many of you go into 21 online? Awesome. It's so simple to find. You seriously go to 21 online. Everybody know where the productivity hub is? All you do is go to List Globally, and your back end to List Globally is right there. That's when you'll be able to see how your listings are doing in regards to views and where it's being marketed. So the difference between this is your listings are now being viewed more than 14.5 by more than 14.5 new consumers each month in more than 30 languages, 37 portals, and 36 countries. That's pretty incredible, if you ask me. Also, now in partnership with List Globally, your listings will now stand out more on Realtor.com. So your listings will, it improves the look of your listings on Century21.com with enhanced photos, descriptions, etc. Any questions about that? Okay. Okay, so how many of you use Zap? Awesome. Okay, well, how many of you ever walked into like a pizza place or Baskin Robbins or any of those places? They give you a lot of what? Choices, yes. And that's what Century21 does. And for people like me, I have a hard time making decisions. But we now, in addition to Zap, we're going to be, and when I say we, Century21 is going to be rolling out Moxie Works probably at the first of the year. So what is Moxie Works? Anyone heard of it? Want to tell me what they know about it? Yes.
I've used it at my former brokerage, so we use Present and Engage a lot. Present especially is dynamic because it's a CMA tool, but it updates in real time. So if I did a CMA a month ago and then go back to it, I don't have to redo a new one. It's all and it sends it out in a beautiful slide presentation form.
That's pretty awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. I appreciate it. I didn't pay him to say that either. That was perfect. So there are 5 different platforms to Moxie. There's Moxie Present, Moxie Engage, Moxie Impress, Moxie Talent, and then Moxie Websites. And like he was just mentioning, the Moxie Present is a CMA tool. From what I've heard, those that are using it right now, it knocks the socks off of Toolkit CMA. There's not even a comparison. Anybody know what Toolkit CMA is? Okay, awesome. The Moxie Engage is the CRM. And Moxie Impressed is all your real estate marketing, postcards, social media, any type of real estate marketing that you guys can think of. Obviously, Moxie Talent would be for the broker for recruiting and retention. And then the Moxie Websites is where you would each get your website. I don't have a whole lot of information on MoxieWorks. I just know that they're rolling it out in phases, and it's going to be starting probably the 1st of January. So any questions that I might be able to answer?
Would there be like any type of tutorial videos?
Yes, yeah. And it's literally during the rollout process, because we do have a few companies going early right now just to kind of test and see how it goes, is literally your hand is held throughout the process with rolling it out to the company and to the agents.
So, Bob, what CRM do you use?
Open 7.
Philip, what CRM do you use?
I'll answer it. iExact.
iExact, right. Hey, we can go around the room, but a lot of you are using a lot of different things depending on what type of business you have, where you want it to come from, what you like. This isn't to replace anything. It's to give you another tool. So you can look at it and say, what I'm using right now fits my needs better. Okay? What did it cost you? You might look at it and say, this is better than what I have right now. I'm going to change. What did it cost you? Nothing. This is what we're all about. You get the options. You get the choice. It's not costing you anything. I just want you to have as many different options for as many different people and businesses as we can. Make sense? Okay.
Thank you, Mike. How many of you have heard of the C21 Tracker? What do you know about it? Tell me.
I know it's an app. I was trying to figure how to use it, but I didn't have much information about that.
Oh.
You got me. I didn't even know we had.
I love how open and transparent you are, Mike. So that leads me to, we probably need to do a class on the tracker and do a full, maybe with your team. So how many, and corporate does not like when us out here in the field use this analogy, but how many of you use DoorDash or have pizza delivered or, use any of the Instacarts, anything like that? What do you do when you order?
Watch the progress.
Yes, you're sitting there watching the progress, right? So this is the same thing for your buyers and your sellers. Once the transaction is entered into Dash, then you can send the buyer or the seller a code and they can download the app, and then they literally follow the transaction through to the end. Yeah. There is a training video in here that if you guys, before I get with your leadership team on maybe some training, you guys could always watch this on your own.
So Jodi, I'm going to jump in with you sometimes on this stuff. Hey, who's had a customer that got frustrated with you because they didn't know what was happening next, that they didn't feel like you were telling them? Bunch of liars. Customers who are control freaks. They don't want you to just say, look, just show up to closing at the end of the month, don't worry, I got it. Which is a lot of times what we internally want. Just shut up. Just be quiet. I got this. Just show up when I tell you to, okay? No, some people want to know what's going on. They want to know what's coming next, and they want to be able to follow along with it. And if you don't give them that, they're going to get really frustrated with you. So this tool allows them to kind of follow along with you and not just shut up and do whatever you tell them to do. Does that make sense? And it costs you what? Don't you like the ring of that? Just say it.
And in your listing presentations too, this is something that, could separate you from the competition as well as having this tracker. And use the analogy, hey, do you guys ever DoorDash or do you ever use Instacart or anything, like that where you look to see when it's going to be at your door? I mean, we're humans. We love to know exactly what's going to happen next. We don't like to feel abandoned or out in the cold or in the dark. PR Studio. Who wants to tell me what PR Studio is? How many of you use PR Studio?
He's
Awesome.
sitting right there. Hey, PR Studio, stand up.
Is that you? That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, so I just pulled a little snippet out of PR Studio. Where do you think you'd find PR Studio? Productivity Hub, yes. And all you do is go down to PR Studio. So be the local market expert. There are written press releases that you guys could use and send to your local media outlets. There's the 20% down payment myth, 2021, best year to list your property, what to expect in closing cost on a home purchase. And it's all written for you. All you've got to do is go in and plug in your information and select the local media outlets you want to send. You can also post them on your social media.
Hey, for those of you paying somebody else to do this stuff for you, I'm sorry. Okay, because we have it and it's free to you and you don't need to be paying some third-party company to generate this stuff for you.
And you'll see there's awards and recognition. If you win an award, don't be afraid to go in and publish. And when you go in here, you can also, there's 2 other categories too. Don't be afraid to post something. It makes it look like it's coming. It doesn't look like it's coming from you. You make it look like it's coming from Mike, fill in his information. Mike, broker owner.
And make sure your mommy gets it because she's the only person on the planet that will care, okay?
Okay, so let's talk about C21 University. It's so hard to even know where to begin because over the past 2 years, so when I first started with C21, we had like one class. I think it was Create 21. Who remembers Create 21? You remember it? You remember Create 21? Oh my goodness. Well, we've come a long way since then. How many of you actually go to C21 University? How many of you actually log in and register for the courses? How many of you actually take the courses? Now there's no hands. Well, I'm going to tell you that if you get some time, because it would take me 30 to 40 minutes to go through the entire C21 University, can we click on that link again? I want to just show you a snippet of the calendar that they put out every month. You guys have an awesome training department here, but you've also got, again, more choices from C21 University. Can you just use your credentials? Yeah, that would be great. They put out a training calendar every month with at least 1 class a day, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. There's also core classes. Accelerate. How many of you have heard of Accelerate? So this is a true story. Accelerate is an enhanced version of Create 21. There's an agent by the name of Marilyn Boudreau out of Louisiana that's been in the business about 13 or 14 years. When you've been in the business that long, sometimes you think you know everything, you can't learn anymore. But who's out there on the field every day practicing for their next tennis match? Serena Williams. She's still practicing coaching every day, right? So she took Accelerate, and it increased her business, I want to say like 13%. Don't quote me on that, but it was somewhere around that. Okay, so I don't know why it took us. So click on, can you say, okay, can you click on at your fingertips? Go up right there, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's it. So this month in learning, click on September. And this is every single month. So there's the calendar. There's week of September 6th through 10th, so click on that. Oh, it's to your right. You have to download it. Go to the right a little bit, get a little bit up. right there, up, one more, right there. So here's the classes. So yesterday there were 3 classes: pricing competence, social media strategies, and winning the mental game of selling. Today there's lead gen at 11 o'clock. Tomorrow, letting the brand work for you. And then every Friday there's a Mind Over Market series with the Chief Learning Officer, Brian Ellington, and another broker. But that's every week. Every week. So I would highly recommend that you guys add that to your learning, especially with what you get here. Okay.
Back to the.
Yes. Oh. So let's talk about apps for a minute. How many of you have downloaded the C21 University app? Yay, awesome. How cool is that you can just now, instead of having to go to C21University.com, all you have to do is download the app and you can pull up all the classes from there, register for the classes from your app. Here is the replay. It was obviously an hour, so we will not watch it here, but I wanted to include this because I've had so many people say that this is one of the best events or speakers that they've heard in a long time. So this is James Clear. Learn how to get 1% better every day, avoid common mistakes when changing habits, and how to overcome lack of willpower and motivation. Another thing is the 21-day listing challenge. Who here has participated in the 21-day real estate challenge, listing challenge? They've been happening now for, I want to say, I don't know if it started this year or last year. Anybody? So this is a huge networking opportunity. So the next one is launching on October 6th. This is 21 days where you're with agents from all over the US and you're motivating, you're learning. It really holds you accountable. They share best practices. So the registration it says registration now open, but I couldn't find it. So I'm waiting for them to send me the registration link. So I'll send that out once I get it. Let's talk about marketing. So how many of you have created your own commercial? How much did it cost you?
0.
Why?
Because I did it myself.
Where'd you do it?
Here.
How?
With my cell phone.
So anybody utilizing the free commercials that are branded to you? Lisa, tell me what. Nice. Does anybody want to see what we're talking about? Did you know you get free commercials that are branded to you? No? Mike. We need to get Mike enrolled in an ILA. It's going to be in Arizona in October.
The problem is Mike was in ILA. Our first year was 2015.
Oh gosh, that was when Lori Pop and I were running it. It's way different now. Click on that video where it says click here for video. Yeah, not that one, but yeah, that one. You can watch that video. All you got to do is, so the cool thing is about the video is that at the very end, all you have to do is, and the link on how to create, I did a video on how to create this commercial. So all you got to do is watch the video step by step. But at the end of the commercial, it's all of your information listed.
And that's under university? Or
it's Brand Studio. Yeah, but I literally filmed an entire tutorial on how to do it from step 1 to the very end in there. But it's really cool. You'll get so many likes on social media from, it's a lot of PR. How many of you use the social ad engine? Couple of you. Tell me about your results.
Just started, so.
Oh, cool. You'll have to keep me posted on your results. Somebody else back there raised their hand. Okay, just started. So I am probably the most skeptic. I'm the biggest skeptic when it comes to a lot of the tools Century 21 puts out, just because I've been here a long time, and I know which ones really work, and I might take or leave that one. But this right here, hands down, I have had more agents tell me that the return on investment from using social ad engine is off the charts. So what is it? Whenever you get a listing, or any type of marketing that you want to do on Facebook, Instagram, any type of social media platform, all you do is go to your social ad engine under the Productivity Hub, and there's options for you on different campaigns that you can do. And then when you post it, all the leads come to you. So it's a lead generation tool or a personal brand, what's the word I'm looking for? Personal branding tool. It's an open house tool. The cool thing about it is that they've recently dropped the price, so you can do a 5-day ad for $69, 7 days for $129, 11 days for $229, and 14 days for $349. Kind of cool, huh? I can't wait y'all have to keep me posted on your results. Looking for something to post on social media? Every single month, the brand comes out with the social media calendar for you as agents. Every single month. It tells you when to post, and it actually gives you brand assets to post. Yeah, it comes out every month. And it's all on Workplace. They do post it on Work. I believe it's also in 21 Online, but it's just easier to find it in Brand Studio. I just like to throw in this slide because people say, where do we advertise? Where are we mentioned? In Q2 of this year, we were CNBC, Forbes, Money, RISMedia. We just made the cover of RISMedia magazine. I don't know if you guys saw that. Kind of cool. Who's going to Top Agent? Lisa, awesome. I'm planning to go too. What is Top Agent? Mike.
Well, it says top. It doesn't say top agents. It says top agent. If you want it to be plural, make it plural.
Well, maybe apparently there's only one top agent in here going, so that's appropriate for this.
There'll be 2 of you there.
So Lisa's going, nobody else? So how do you get to top agent? You become a top agent. That sounds logical, right? So you have to hit a minimum level of production each calendar year, and the first level is Master Ruby, and then once you've hit Master Ruby, then you will be invited to attend Top Agent. This year it's in Hawaii. Next year we don't know where it's going to be, but who in here knows what their production is right now, year to date? What's yours?
21 million.
Okay, so what's your AGC? 2,600. So hopefully you'll be going to Top Agent next year.
No, he's not going to Top Agent. No, he's not. Well, go sell some homes, dude.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Those that go to Top Agent and network come back with a massive referral database and become the expert for. That's the plan. Yeah. Yeah. And
Going and I'm not. I won't do that.
Okay.
I'll be on the beach.
Okay, yeah, no, that won't happen. 121. Tell me about 121. What's the 121 experience?
You had me at Vegas.
So every year, Century 21 has a conference, international conference, and where you go and you meet other, not just agents, not just Century 21 agents in the US, but all around the world. And there's learning, there's food, there's fun, just a lot of networking. So this year next year in 2022, it's March 23rd through 26th, and it is in Las Vegas. And if you go to our events page, I believe you can actually just go to 121experience.com. Registration is open and the hotel block is open.
So let me give you a little tip on that. That's actually one of the things that I recommend. It's actually pretty good. If you think you might want to go, I would go ahead and register now, and you get the cheapie registration, and you want to get your room reserved because that's going to sell out. You'll have to stay at some flea bag hotel. Ask Bob where he stays. Where is it you stay? No comment?
So crazy. He's so funny. So I had an agent in Florida that I kept trying to get to go year after year, and finally she broke down and went 1 year, and it opened up so many doors from her. Literally 2 months after she went, she networked and connected with other C21 overseas, and she ended up appearing on the front page cover of one of their magazines in their country, which gave her a lot of exposure. Yeah.
So you've all heard about Lisa's Referral Wonder Woman program. It's probably just a coincidence, but who's the #2 ranked agent in our entire company right now? Yeah.
I love it.
Well,
I love it, Lisa. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Okay, so I'm 3 minutes shy of my 50-minute hard stop. So questions, throw them at me. Wow.
So if you were to recommend somebody, so like a lot of this is new material for me, where is step one?
Do you have a do you have a CRM?
I do, but I'm always looking for new opportunities for CRM to do different things.
Okay, so does your company have a CRM, or do you guys utilize Business Builder?
everybody's using something different, but Business Builder would be the place to get started.
Okay. That would be actually to back up, my first thing would be to take the C21 University goal setting and annual business planning class. I mean, every agent, that should be your very first thing. Second would be to learn Business Builder and set all of your customers up in your database, put them on drip campaigns. Y'all are familiar with Business Builder if you're, okay. Set them up on drip campaigns. There's anniversary campaigns. There's holiday campaigns. And the second thing that I would do is become familiar with the Golden Ruler. Do you guys use Golden Ruler? Okay. So yeah, I just listed my house for sale a couple weeks ago, and I actually like the Golden Ruler report. I find it pretty cool. Golden Ruler. Toolkit CMA. Do you guys use Toolkit CMA? Okay, that would be the third one. And then if you don't have like any type of consumer capture, I'd probably get to know Zap. Are you utilizing Zap?
Probably not as well.
Okay, so we have a Centurion agent in Destin, Florida, who swears up and down Zap. I mean, he uses it for everything. And I mean, he was on our stage last year at our Florida event raving about Zap just because of the CRM and